Welcome to our new lesson, the beginning of chapter 10, finding monomial factors. If you remember, when you multiply 2 times 3, you will have 6. We can call these numbers factors of 6. The same, for example, 15 is equal to 3 times 5. And the same, 3 and 5 are factors of 15. Finding factors, we call it factorization. So, to factor a number is to write it as a product of 2 numbers which are more simple. Let us try to remember something we took before. The GCF, which is the greatest common factor. To find the greatest common factor for a group of numbers, for example, find the greatest common factor for 4, 8, and 12. What is the greatest common factor for these 3 numbers? First, you will look for the smallest one of them, which is 4, and you will ask yourself, are the other 2 numbers can be divided by this 4? Well, 8 is divisible by 4, 12 is divisible by 4. For that, we will say that the greatest common factor for these 3 numbers is 4. Another example, 6, 15, 18. What is the greatest common factor for these 3 numbers? The smallest one is 6, but we can't say that 6 is the greatest common factor. Because of that, we will search for a smaller number, and this number is going to be 3, because 6 is divisible by 3, 15 is divisible by 3, 18 is divisible by 3. Another example, 12, 16, and 20. Find the greatest common factor for these numbers. Well, the smallest number is 12. 16 and 20 are not divisible by 12. So we must look for a smaller number which the 3 numbers can be divided by. That number must be 4. This is the greatest common factor for numbers. Also, we can find the greatest common factor for variables. For example, if you are given x to power 7, x to power 5, and x to power 9, what is the greatest common factor for these variables? The greatest common factor here always, it is the one with the lowest power. So it is x to the power 5. Try now y square, y to the power 5, y to the power 3. The greatest common factor here is the one with the lowest power. So it is y square. Try now a square p, a p square, and a cube p to the power 5. The greatest common factor here deal with every letter alone, the same like the past 2 examples. So a square, a to the power 1, a to the power 3, we will choose a to the power 1. P to the power 1, p square, p to the power 5, we will choose b to power 1. So the greatest common factor here for these three terms is ab. X cube y to power 5 x square y z x to power 5 y cube z. The greatest common factor here, x cube, x square, x to power 5. The lowest power is x square. Y to power 5, y to power 1, y to power 3. So we will choose y to power 1. We have in the third term z to power 1, in the second one z to power 1, but in the first term we don't have z. So we can't take it as a common factor because it is not common between the three terms. So our greatest common factor will be x squared y only. All of this was an introduction to our lesson. The question in our lesson, factor. You will be given an algebraic expressions such as 4a plus 4. To factor this expression here, we will do what we have done in the examples we dealt before. Look to every term, try to take the greatest common factor from them first. So here we have two terms. We see that 4 is a common factor between them. A is not a common factor. This 4 now is a factor of this expression. It must be multiplied by another factor. So their product will be 4a plus 4. To know what is the other term here, we need to divide every term by 4. So 4a divided by 4, it will be a plus, we will put plus here, 4 divided by 4 is equal to 1. Let us do another example. Px plus py. You can see that b is in the two terms in the expression. So we will take b as a common factor and then open the parentheses. If you divide the first term by b, it is going to be x. If you divide the second term by b, it will be y. And this is the factorization for this expression. 3. 4 x to power 4 plus 8 x cubed plus 12 x squared. Look for the factors for every term. 4, 8, 12. It's clear that 8 and 12 are divisible by 4. So I'll choose 4 to be as a common factor. Also the variables, x to power 4, x to power 3, x to power 2. I'll choose the lowest power. Now open your parentheses. Try to divide every term by 4x squared. 4 divided by 4, you have 1, no need to write it. X to the power 4 divided by x squared, it will be x to power 2 because we subtract powers when we divide them. Plus 8x cubed divided by 4x squared. 8 divided by 4, we have 2. X cubed divided by x squared, we have x. Plus 12 divided by 4. The answer is 3. x square divided by x square is equal to 1. No need to write it here, so this is the answer. Y square minus 8y. Let us try to factor this expression. We will look for the common factors in both terms. We can see that 1 and 8, the common factor for them is 1. No need to write it. Y and y square, we will take y to power 1. Open your parentheses. Then y square divided by y, it will be y. Minus 8y divided by y, it will be minus 8. 12 AB plus 30 AC. 12 and 30, the common factor for them is 6. A, it is a common factor in both terms, but we can't take B or C. Open your parentheses. 12 divided by 6, it is 2. AB divided by A, you will have B. Plus 30 divided by 6, it is 5. AC divided by A is C. This is what we call finding a monomial factors for an algebraic expression. And this is the end of our lesson.